This is Gee Whiz God, Episode 8, Voice Your Heart. A little known gee whiz or fun fact about the book of Psalms is that they were not just written by King David, and they were not written in one time frame, but over a period of hundreds of years. One more gee whiz about the book of Psalms, which may surprise you, is that one of the authors is indeed another famous biblical character, Moses. He penned Psalm 90. Next time you read this psalm, if now for the first time or for the 50th time, read it through the eyes of Moses. Take a walk in his shoes for a moment and listen to his heart. You will get a deeper understanding of this man on a more personal level. Continuing on, the Psalms had more authors than any other book of the Bible, with King David being the largest contributor. Would it also be a gee whiz if I shared with you that the Psalms is the most read book of the Bible, even across denominational boundaries? So why is this? Well, the Psalms is of course filled with rich spiritual insights that scholars, theologians, and Bible students in general love to explore and study through. It is also filled with great teachings and instructions for our benefit, but in my opinion, this is not what draws the attention of so many people worldwide, generation after generation. The Psalms is a book that allows the human soul to pour out its own raw truths. For this reason alone, it makes sense that by sovereign and divine leading, there would be so many different people with so many different backgrounds who authored such a book. The Psalms is a deep well of the human soul, which is rightly postured in a place of holy submission and love to God, pouring out purity of heart and mind to Him. God is saying to you, voice your heart. Here is a place where you will not be misunderstood. Tell me how you are feeling, and each and every one of us have something to say, don't we? Whether it is praise and worship or a heart who is filled with heavy grief and needs to be heard, it needs to cry out. God makes room always to have a relationship with you. Listen to Psalm 42, verses 1 to 3 in the Message version. A white-tailed deer drinks from the creek. I want to drink God, deep draughts of God. I am thirsty for God alive. I wonder, will I ever make it, arrive and drink in God's presence? I'm on a diet of tears. Tears for breakfast, tears for supper. All day long, people knock at my door, pestering, where is this God of yours? He wants to know if you are weary, as Moses tells him in Psalm 90, or angry like we read in Psalm 13, again from the Message. Long enough, God. You've ignored me long enough. I've looked at the back of your head long enough. Long enough, I've carried this ton of trouble, lived with this stomach full of pain. Long enough, my arrogant enemies have looked down their noses at me. Take a good look at me, God, my God. I want to look life in the eye so no enemy can get the best of me or laugh when I fall on my face. I've thrown myself headlong into your arms, and I am celebrating your rescue. I'm singing at the top of my lungs. I am so full of your answered prayers. This psalm demonstrates a heart of truth, but not one offended at God or charging Him and shaking one's fist at Him. You can be honest with Him. And certainly there are times, and hopefully this is where you'll find yourself most often over a lifetime, when your heart is full of love and wonder. You are full of passion toward Him, and you just need to let it be made known. I enjoy Psalm 45 because I really see Jesus in these scriptures. My heart bursts at its banks, spilling beauty and goodness. I pour it out in a poem to the King, shaping the river into words. You are the handsomest of men. Every word from your lips is sheer grace, and God has blessed you so much. Strap your sword to your side, warrior, and accept praise. Accept due honor. Ride majestically, ride triumphantly, ride to the side of truth. Ride for the righteous meek. Your instructions are glow in the dark. You shoot sharp arrows into enemies' hearts, and the king's foes lie down in the dust, beaten. That's also from the Message translation. Some scriptures, like Psalm 55, were a great comfort to me, and maybe you too, at one point in my life as I lay before the Lord in sorrow and great betrayal. Reading from the NASB, verses 12 to 14. For it is not an enemy who taunts me, then I could endure it. Nor is it one who hates me who has exalted himself against me. Then I could hide myself from him. But it is you, a man my equal, my companion, my confidant, we who had sweet fellowship together, walked in the house of God among the commotion. Sometimes after reading certain Psalms, I say, oh God, you really get me. You do understand. Voice your heart to him through the Psalms, and as you do, listen for his voice in response. I love the Lord because he hears my voice and my supplications, because he has inclined his ear to me. Therefore I shall call upon him as long as I live. Psalm 116, verses 1 to 2. The Psalms is one of those books I find myself reading in several translations, especially if I'm really heart-wrenched. I'm not looking for what a certain means in the original Hebrew. I just want the spirit of what is being said. I need to voice my heart. I need to feel it. In times like these, I find myself often referring to the Message Bible. There are many ways to approach the book of Psalms and many wonderful studies which one can do or can be done. It is endless in information and spiritual insights, even down to how the book is broken into categories and sectionalized. Lots more fun to be had, but the true draw may really be the fact that God is a relational father who wants to hear what's going on in the hearts of his kids and speak back to them in the same way.